How are we doing, guys? ALTV, Leeds versus Millwall, and this is a big live preview. You'll also see, if you want to scoot over a little bit, Steve Barry.
Wow.
He's done a bit of writing for us. I hope you guys have read Steve's writing as well. He did, was it the Reading game?
Yeah, the Facebook report is shared on Wacko, I think.
And on the ALTV website as well.
Yeah.
So do check that out if you haven't already. We've got the website going now. You should hopefully see more stuff over the next coming weeks going on to the website and that lot. But anything you want those guys to write about, me or Steve, just let us know. Absolutely. This will be the first time you've seen Steve on the video, but we're going to present the Millwall game. Any problems with sound, let us know.
I hope my Irish accent is okay.
Let's let us know. If any problems with sound, anything like that, let us know. We've got the Jonah Hill lookalike already.
Yeah.
So Millwall's home. What are we thinking going into this?
Yeah, I think it's a game we need to bounce back from Sheffield United. Don't think it was a terribly bad performance, but just it's a game, against the side in the lower echelons of the division. I think it's just you have to win it. As this says, coming into the business end, the pressure comes on. If we don't win, it leaves us with a big ask because you just expect Norwich and Sheffield United to keep winning at this stage. We don't seem to be getting many favours. So yeah, I just think we're at home, big crowd expected again, probably a sellout. So I think just have to win.
And I think I saw an early comment there of Paul Williams saying we must score first, and it's a cricket score. It's the early goal is so key, isn't it? In Bielsa, with the whole system of the season. I
think Millwall are a side they're just equipped, especially at home, and they have the crowd with them. Away from home, they don't really, bring a massive following with them. So I think it's a case of if we get an early goal, I think we'll go on to a bit of a big win. If we don't, the crowd will come a bit edgy. Millwall will be up for it. Their usual kind of their cup final. They always try, especially this is a game they really want to win.
Yeah, no, of course.
I was at the game in 2009 when they scuppered their promotion hopes from League One, and I can just tell they'd be dying to do that again. So
anything to sort of disrupt our momentum, isn't it? So we're looking at the game for the first time in a long time. We're pretty much Roofe aside, got a full squad going into this. I think as far as we're aware, we're going through like the lineup and that. Look, got a little lineup app here which you will see as we progress. With the preview and that lot, it's a massive boost, isn't it? With 8 games to go, having that full squad and hopefully Roofe available from Birmingham onwards, and hopefully we're going to start to see our strongest team. But let's go up through the lineup. First of all, I don't know if you guys can see. If you guys can see that, probably not. I don't know. Hold it down. No, you won't be able to see that. Basically, that's not gone so well. But yeah, basically, I've gone through what my sort of starting 11 would be. I'd be going with a back 3 in this. I apologise for almost blinding you guys then with the light of that. That really didn't work out too well. But yeah, starting 11 we're looking at. So looking along here, Berardi, Janssen, Cooper as a back 3. Ayling, Phillips, Alioski as sort of like the second 3, if you like. Phillips playing in his traditional holding role. Mateus Click playing the more conventional number 10 role as such. Pablo, Bamford. And I've gone Jack Clark on the left-hand side. Would you go anything different from that? Would you maybe go a different system, the more traditional back 4? Or what would you be looking at starting 11?
I think Millwall generally play a 4-4-2 pretty much home and away. So I think Bielsa nearly always played a back 3 if the opposition has a front 2. So, I don't see anything really wrong with that team. I know Clark, especially coming off his virus, maybe he's coming back to fitness. But generally, I think he's more of a threat than Jack Harrison. But I think generally over the season, he's more threatening off the bench. But I think it's a game where, if we get an early goal, I think we should go on to win quite comfortably. So I don't have a problem if Clark was to start.
But obviously, we're looking at it realistically. It probably is going to be an Alioski Hernandez left-hand side. We're looking at the options off the bench as well. We're looking at this bench. We've sort of drafted out here. Shackleton, Douglas, Forshaw, Harrison or Clark, Roberts, Brown, Dallas. We're looking at that and thinking that is a decent looking bench, isn't it? To be honest, that is not too bad, is it? We've got options off the bench. Maybe in terms of striker, if Paddy Bamford has a bad game, we've got that slight concern. Who comes on to replace him if we need to, or do we even need to replace him? Obviously when Roofe comes back as well. Yeah. So it'll be interesting from that point of view. But as you're saying, about the back three, the Millwall going 2 up top. Bielsa always likes to have that extra centre back. It's what the other team has, striker. It'd be interesting because Sheffield United. I think one of the things I really spotted from that game was that we still went with the back four. I think me and you especially when we're discussing, we always just have our good old pre-match discussions and that lot on WhatsApp. We were saying about we were almost certain we were going to go with the back three in that game, but that wasn't the case. We still went with the back four.
Yeah.
And when you look back to the goal Sheffield United scored against us, of course it's an error off Liam Cooper, but is that possibly a consequence of trying to play 2 centre backs against 2 strikers? That extra bit of space.
Yeah, you can be left to expose the counter attack because there was no covering defender behind Cooper Phillips. I think they were gambling and winning the ball, which didn't happen, and that gave Ashton the space to go through and score. So I don't think Sheffield United had a lot of pace in their side, so maybe that's why Bielsa went with the back four, thinking they wouldn't run in behind, but just
tries to populate the midfield area a bit more, have that extra centre mid, and it'd be interesting. It's like because Millwall is very much a very deep, for me anyway, from seeing them in that lot. I think the only real creative player I can really think of in that team is Jeb Wallace, good player. I think every single time Jeb Wallace has played against us, he's played well. He got that last minute winner last season. He caused a lot of problems. I still have nightmares to this day of Ferdinand Anita at left back trying to defend against him in that game that pretty much ended Thomas Christensen's Leeds career.
I didn't see that game, but I just remember saying on the forums that it could have been 5-0 defeat. Just kind of where we got a chink exposed in the armour.
It was the first signs of problems for us, and to an extent, you look at this season as well. We struggled for large parts of that away game against Millwall. We went 1 down early on in that second half, and it was a battle. Obviously it was a last minute Jack Harrison goal.
Bailed us out. So. And
it bailed us out, and we can't afford to take Millwall lightly at all. For me, it's going to be if we can get that early goal though. I do feel it's one we can win comfortably. But guys, keep your comments coming in. We're going to go through them in a second. But a good thing to point out is Pontus is available. Pontus is available. That's a massive boost. I personally love to see Berardi, Janssen, Cooper playing as that back three. I think Berardi especially, you look at him as someone who can carry that ball, be a little bit more efficient in playing the ball out. I think at this season, when Berardi has played in that position, not necessarily he's our technically best defender. He's not technically our best defender, but he's so important to this team for me. Bielsa's style of play, he's got that mobility, maybe not so much pace, but he has got that agility to get back. Comfortable covering his fullback, which would be alien in this kind of system. It'd be interesting, but guys, let us know what your team will be for this game. As I'm sure some of you guys have too.
I think actually already. Just interrupt you. I know when Berardi played at Newport last season, I think he looked adept at centre back. I know it was against League 2 opposition.
But he was class in that game.
Yeah, you could see he just seemed to have the skill set more for a centre back side than a full back. My only main concern tomorrow again is Millwall will be trying to wind the players up, and you just hope a few of our players don't lose the heads. So that's what I said. If we can get an early goal, should kind of put that to bed, and then hopefully be like Reading, maybe comfortable first half. And
that's what I mean.
That's the idea.
It's what that Reading game was built on. It's what the West Brom game was built on. An early goal. Reading we scored after 8 minutes. Click got that first goal. Clicky got the first goal. Pablo gets the first goal against West Brom early doors. And it's when, obviously, Bristol City as well. Forgetting about Bristol City, that onslaught of the first half was all built on that first goal. Okay, second half was a little bit tighter, but it was still, a game we deserved to win, and we got ourselves the early goal. It relieves the pressure, I feel, on any team, and I think especially in this system, I think it opens up the game more if we get that early goal. But let's have a look at some comments then. So, let's go right to the top. Harry Burns has made a very good point. I think the under-23s need a massive amount of credit for what they're doing, and a special mention. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely 1,000,000%. And guys, I was thinking as well for all these investigates next week. I want to know what you think should do next week. Next week, I was thinking of doing a Carlos Corberan special, profiling what he's done at the club. The players he's brought in. The squad, the way he's getting his 11s playing, the under-23s playing. yeah, see how he's doing that. And the other thing I was thinking of doing is more promotion specific. All these two investigates. Let us know, guys. Which one you think should do at the end of the day. Trying to get my thoughts there together. But yeah, which one you think would be best anyway. So let's see any more comments. Tiger Steel says we'll be in the top 2 in 24 hours time. Quite possible, quite possible. Bristol City got to go to Sheffield United. But not a nice team to play Bristol City. They can make things really tight. Really difficult. Could they restrict the spaces?
I've gone for an 0-0 draw on that because I know Sheffield United haven't conceded 6 games, and I think
it's something ridiculous like that. Yeah, but Bristol City good at the back as well. I think defensive records. Yeah. Sheffield United's 2nd best, Bristol City 4th best. So you're looking at a tight game potentially there.
I think the good thing with the 2 games tomorrow with them as well, obviously we need to do our business first, but they both have something to play for. Middlesbrough and Bristol City both competing for the playoffs, so it's not like they're a mid-table team on their holidays. And
I think that is key. Any team, I think as well. You look at the relegation threatened teams as well. You see a lot of strange results at this stage of the season. I mean, let's hope it's not tomorrow. Let's hope it's not a strange one tomorrow against a relegation threatened team. But we do see strange results at this stage of the season. We always go back to 09-10 when I get at Charlton away. I was saying to you the other day, when we lost that game, I thought that's it now. We've completely blown it. And then we found out Millwall got beat 2-0 at Tranmere, a relegation threatened Tranmere, and Andy Robinson had the game of his life. And rescued us that day, to be honest.
We'd lost 4 in a row in the Easter period around this time, so you can only imagine the reaction, say, if people had been more prominent on Twitter then.
Oh, yeah. Especially after that Swindon game, it's all over, it's all this, it's all that. But yeah.
The Billy Painter double.
And we signed him off the back of it as well. Yeah. So, other comments off Quinn. Should we bring Izzy in? It's nearly April. It's a good point. We've not seen much of Izzy Brown, and we did mention Izzy Brown on the bench. It's unlikely he's going to start this game. Do you see him as being that potential player who can have an impact on the game? It's like a number 10, maybe possibly alongside Click or in a different kind of system. Do you see Izzy Brown as potentially being someone who can have an impact on this team?
Yeah, definitely. I know it was a couple of years ago before he had his bad injury, but he had I remember the Huddersfield away game. I thought he was excellent in that game for them.
Of course, yeah.
So if you could replicate that form, definitely an asset. It's just you just be worried about is he still worried about the hamstring goal?
Yeah. I mean, we saw him come on against
the ligament. Because I think he had a hamstring injury following that.
He's had 2 or 3 different separate injuries, but I think the worry was after QPR, we only saw 10 minutes of him, albeit. We could have got sent off in that game. If I'm being honest, he could have had 2 yellows.
He was fortunate.
He just seemed a little bit off the pace to me. I'm not sure what you think of that, Steve. I felt he did look a little bit off the pace on that on that occasion. But I think you can't base it on just 10 minutes. And, we look at over options as well. So other comments. Lee Cox isn't keen on the idea of back 3. He never does the he never plays back 3. He never plays a back 3. Sorry. I mean, it's been a while since we have gone back 3 with a back 3 as far as I can remember. I was trying to think, probably around. I think in the second half against Bristol City, he did bring Berardi on and did change into a back 3. But it's been a while since he's started with a game with a back 3. Possibly he's lost faith in it, but for me, I'm looking at it more, the back 3, as you're looking at the front 4, who potentially play that. You've got Click there, Pablo on the right, Clark on the left, Bamford through the middle. That's a tough front 4 to stop. You got the aggression from Aylin, Alioski from the sides as well. There's overloads happening there as well. Looking at that and thinking that's a real threat. And I don't know about you, Steve. I'm looking at that and thinking that's a real.
Yeah,
I think get there onto the pitch at the same time. There's threat there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've definitely can play to our potential. It's should be too good for Millwall. I think, but I think actually just going to touch on someone who hasn't played for a while, but he'll be in tomorrow, Bailey Peacock Farrell.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I'd missed BPF up there. It's I mean it's a big test, isn't it? I think it's Stoke away, his last game. When Kiko came in. There's a big pressure on Bailey Peacock Farrell. Can he stand up to the test?
Yeah, because you can imagine that Harris will in the team talk, target him with long balls,
Yeah,
throw-ins into the box, which they did at the Den back in September.
Steve Morrison making that run into the front post, trying to got to mention Steve Morrison there straight away. I mean, we're going to get them balls into the box. That's what we're going to be doing, pumping long balls. Yeah. It's what Millwall do, isn't it? Let's be honest. And last season it served them really well in most of the games, if not all the games against us. It served them well as well. We've got to counteract that threat. And that's why I think Pontus is very key. We need that height at the back. If
he hadn't been back in, definitely would have been tempted to start Hallam. I know he hasn't played recently, but just you're looking at it'd be too small if we didn't have Janssen,
Because you're looking at Berardi and Cooper. As much as we love them, they're not the best in the air. I think obviously Cooper has improved dramatically this season, but still, in terms of looking at a statistical point of view, he's one of the lowest in terms of winning defensive headers, winning its aerial duels and that lot. And that is a problem when you play Millwall. You look at Steve Morrison, as much as we don't like Steve Morrison, but with good reason. He was shit for us, let's be honest. He was poor for us. His attitude was terrible.
He's best known at Leeds for his time when he kicked the ball out for a throw-in.
Yeah, exactly, against Forest as well. It wasn't even so much ability for me. I just thought his attitude at the club was terrible at times. It's one of those. I'm not going to go too much into that. But, I mean, he does always play well against us, and he has got it in him to have really good games. He has some really good games for us in that sort of season when we almost went down. We came in the number 9 position. We know what he can do in terms of holding the ball up and trying to link up play. He's not the best finisher for me. I don't think he's a great finisher. He's not someone who's going to get you 15, 20 goals a season, but he does do that job pretty well.
I think as well, it's like when Wilder didn't rest Billy Sharp for the game against Brentford before.
I think it was Scott Hogan he played instead.
Medina, I think he was sent off.
That's the thing. The willingness to.
I don't think Morrison started their cup game. I don't think.
Oh, okay, maybe we might not see Steve Morrison. I know they have rotated things a little bit more. It has tended to be Morrison and Gregory, as far as I'm aware. And they've caused a lot of problems. Lee Gregory's a good player as well. But you'd like to think we have got the qualities to cope with that at the back. If we've got Pontus back, KP in front of him protecting things, Cooper, hopefully back on top form. Luke Ayling, for me, probably playing the last couple of games.
I think he's back more back to his usual self that we associate him with, say, from the end of the Gary Monk season.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's 3 assists in 3 games, I think, or something like that. He's in superb form. It's great to see. It's superb to see. Alioski.
And he's a great character for the team as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, superb character around the pitch. And he's pretty much everyone's favourite player, isn't he, Luke Ayling? Let's be honest. No one's got a bad word to say about him. Okay, he had a bad run of form around January. He had a bad run of form around Feb, but form is temporary, class is permanent, as we all say.
Yeah, and he was also coming off the back of 2 long-term injuries. I think that probably had an effect as well.
It plays a part. Absolutely. He got that injury. Forest, wasn't it? Forest at home. We went for that tackle, and he got rushed straight back in.
As well last year, back in January.
It was, wasn't it? Both home games. In fact, I think Luke Ayling tweeted about that. Yeah, I should have remembered that.
Unlucky teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you think, we've got people on form. Alioski, I do still have my reservations defensively. I'll be honest about Alioski. Sometimes positioning, but going forward in terms of attacking the space, being aggressive, crossing from deep, which we've touched on, is sort of his best kind of position. Crossing from deep, less cut of pressure on the ball. I think we do see the best of Alioski in that position. I've long been a Barry Douglas fan, but at the minute we can't have Barry Douglas in that team. I don't know if you disagree, mate, but I just don't. I do like Barry Douglas, but
I think it was the game against Brentford back in October. But I think Douglas was injured and Alioski came on, and I just thought he just looked far more of a natural at left back. Because I think we were carrying him at left mid for a few months. He just in an attacking sense, he was very wasteful. He'd run offside. But he still contributed statistically. He got his goals and assists. I think he's more rounded at left back.
Because we were saying it before about we had a little bit of discussion about James McLean on the walk and that lot, and we said about certain different types of winger. You have the combination wingers, and we wingers who can just take people on and dribble all day. Alioski's more of a combination player. Someone's going to run in behind and that lot.
Yeah, because he wouldn't take many players on. He'd be more like a pass.
Pass, and then try and move into space, get the pass back, either cross it or pass it off again. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you do it effectively. But when you do it, it's pass, sideways pass. You're gonna get criticism. It's the way it's not aggressive enough. Kind of like football for what we want to see.
Yeah, but I think even before he joined us, wasn't he? Like he predominantly played left back for Macedonia and in Switzerland, but it was only one season he played as a winger, and that's what he was signed as by Orta.
From
Lugano.
Yeah. He got the 17 goals, wasn't it? Yeah. But if you look at the goals he scored as well, so many of them were like runs into the back post or just using his energy to get in on goal. It wasn't really a case of
Robin.
It was I mean,
cutting off the right.
That's the thing, or cutting in off the right. It wasn't really goals where he was taking on people, dancing around the box and that lot. It was more running onto things and that lot. Using his pace and that lot's getting behind. So, and he's still a threat from left back for me. In terms of getting goals. He will run all day long. He will arrive in that back post position. He will sometimes come short. He's got a good little bit of variety in his game.
Yeah, his energy is just a massive boost to the team, especially at home. Like I think it just gets us on the front foot straight away. And so I think tomorrow's again just a case of can we take chances? We should have most of the possession. Because I can't see Millwall like pressing us high on the pitch.
No, I think we're going to be
defend set pieces. So.
I certainly think this is part of the reason I go back three as well is that we can split the centre backs a little bit. Navarrete taking the ball taking the ball slightly wider and starting different angles of attacks and that lot. It would be interesting to see.
I don't know if he will make changes, but no, I think the team there is decent enough. So.
But I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because I know he's a big Adam Forshaw fan. And Adam Forshaw's back in the team. Do we potentially see Adam Forshaw coming in for Roberts or Click? I'm not really touch on Tyler Roberts. This is the assumption that Tyler Roberts could well start the game. It's interesting. It's the first time in ages, I think, since probably the start of the season where we're looking at the starting 11 because we've got all the options available. We don't know what the team's going to be tomorrow. Normally it's really predictable, but we don't. Who's going to be on the left? Who's going to be a centre back? What's going to happen? It's good, and I'm quite excited by it. Seeing because it's a chance to see what. Okay, Roofe aside to see what Bielsa sees as his strongest team. He's not had this a chance all season really. He goes to the start of the season. He was saying Adam Forshaw was my best player in pre-season.
He said Click was fourth choice, didn't he?
Yeah, he said Click was fourth choice. So from that point of view, he's had to play with his fourth choice. Technically, obviously we know Matthias Click now is probably first choice. Technically, he's not been able to play with who he thought was his best midfielder in pre-season. Now, that's worked out quite well in the end. We all love Matthias Click, but we have to say before the injuries came about, he wasn't really seen as someone who's going to start that many games. He started every game. It's incredible, isn't it? Really, but
I always kind of hoped he'd get a chance. I thought the game at Burnley last season, it was only one game, but against like
class
a Premier, game. You just kind of tell. I don't think you ever saw anything like that from Phillips or O'Kane last season in that position. So just someone who's comfortable receiving the ball, turning, passing, laying it off. Pretty basic for a decent midfielder,
but can control things a little bit. A little bit of. I mean, some of his passing range in that game, especially, his balls out to the wing. He's playing against a good team. Burnley finished 7th last season at the end. At the time, maybe we didn't give it quite the appreciation it probably deserved. I mean, I certainly think there was always that potential with Matthias Click. I always felt that. I mentioned it in pre-season. I mentioned it to you many times. Why has Christiansen let Click go out on loan? Why have we kept this player? Why have we kept that player? When we won't say who and that lot. But it's good to see him get his chance. But let's have a little look at the other comments in that lot. All Things Leeds reckons it'll be unchanged apart from BPF in for Casilla. I think if you had to guess, I think he probably is going to give Tyler Robson a chance to start. But I don't think it's guaranteed. I don't think that's necessarily something that's absolutely 100% going to happen. Let's have a little look here.
I think actually just an interesting one as well on Forshaw. I don't expect him to start, but I remember the away game with Sheffield United. I thought he was excellent, and that was a game where a real battle in midfield. So that's the game I'm expecting Millwall are going to try and play. They're not going to. They'll probably sit deep, but I'm sure when we get they'll try and really condense it,
aggressive,
kick us off the park. That type
you look at the centre mid option. I think Ben Thompson's probably the main centre mid. He's a Millwall academy lads. Yeah. It's going to be there's going to be some strong tackles flying in, and that's. I was thinking that, I think we do maybe need that slight more aggression with a Berardi or a Forshaw, depending on formation. I've said it before. I'm a big Alan Forshaw fan. When he's played in his correct position, when he plays in his Calvin Phillips position, for me, I don't quite think. I don't quite like him as much in that position. I'll be honest. I think at times he's been poor in that position.
The game we were at in December, QPR, he was excellent in that game. He was playing, I think it's number 8.
Yeah, I think he was playing a little bit higher up, and he's got that in his game. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to be a goal threat as such, but keeping that ball high up the pitch, pressing high up the pitch, condensing spaces. I think he plays that role well.
Yeah, he does.
He's someone who's reliable for me when he plays in his best position. Joe Wainman has also said he believes it will be the same lineup as well. And I think if we had to guess, we'd say that.
I don't think if we had to make I know people might harp back to last season and say with Cooper's mistakes against Sheffield United, but generally he's been excellent this season.
Yeah, of course he has. Yeah.
But I don't think Bielsa drops a player for one mistake. Maybe if he has a sustained run of poor form, he might change them. But if you had the same team with the exception of Peacock Farrell for Casilla, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I mean I wouldn't have a problem with that either. I wouldn't. I'd be. That'd be the only change we would make is probably Tyler Roberts. I'd just look at Tyler Roberts and think at the minute. I think some games he's been excellent, some games he's been good. But from time to time, I just think sometimes he doesn't quite seem suited to that position. It's more of a high 8. Alongside Mateus clicking that system, I just don't think it quite gets the best out of him.
I think
that is.
If you go back to Samuel Size, very very comfortable getting the ball in really tight areas and turning, running the pace. Robert's more of he'll dribble from distance like he did against West Brom, created the goal for Bamford the second.
The different kind of players,
it's effective in different ways,
Yeah. I mean, obviously Saeed, we all go and look at the bad points of Saeed, but I think he gave us good balance, Saeed at times at the start of the season. I think it's just about finding that balance, and for me, I think if you're going to continue with the 4-1-4-1, if that is the case, we'll wait and see. I just feel I was probably going with Forshaw or Shackleton in that position, a more natural kind of centre mid, so we keep the ball a little bit better, high up that pitch. That's the way I look at it as well. I think, but it's good to have options, isn't it? It's good to have so many different options.
I think just for several weeks, was it around the Christmas period? Just you look at the bench, it was just full of academy kids.
Who did well? Let's be honest, who did well. But
say for example, Leaf Davis and thrown in at the deep end.
And it's
he did very well in that game.
So of course, but no, it's one of those. You think eventually it's going to catch up with us, and let's be honest, our worst. It's probably our worst period of the season came when we had sort of only academy lads on the bench. I think it may put a little bit more pressure on the senior players to perform, because if they don't perform, it's kind of one of those probably going to just stay on that pitch kind of thing. And sometimes we need to sort of rotate things around a bit. And
I think Bielsa was happy to place his faith in the youth players at the start of the season. So I'm sure he knew there'd be injuries, maybe not to the extent we've had, but.
I don't. I mean, when he saw, obviously who was putting on the bench in that lot, we weren't. I don't think anyone was expecting. I don't think the lads themselves expected us to, progress that quickly. And it's been good to see. We've seen so many debuts this season, and we've got to give credit to Carlos Corberan for that as well. We'll mention that Carlos Corberan, what a job he has done at the club. He's probably been. Obviously a lot of the praise rightly goes to Bielsa, but for me, I think you're looking at other people to praise. And for me, Carlos Corberan is right up on that list for me. I think he's really transformed the fortunes of the club. And it will be good to see, like he stays at this club for a long time. I think it's a real, we've got great potential.
I think as well, just on Corberan, what's encouraging is that you can tell that Bielsa probably won't stick around for maybe 2 or 3 years. Maybe that'll be the max. Whereas it's like with Ireland, they say Stephen Kenny's coming out as the under-21s manager, so he's guaranteed to take over Mick McCarthy. So in one way, it's good to have a succession plan in place. So
of course, absolutely.
I think just because for too long, the club has only been short term. Say Warnock was the ideal example of a short term manager. 3 days a week he show up to training.
Either he gets us up, or he just goes, and in the end.
And then, that was probably his low.
6-1 against Watford. That's what sort of stands out on that. 6-1 against Watford, and Chris Kirkland getting attacked, and Neil Warnock saying he's gone down like a ton of bricks. That's that's really what you want to hear your manager say. But That was that's probably the two things that stand out from that.
Yeah.
And a couple of really poor signings too.
Yeah,
I say a couple, I mean several.
Jobs for the boys.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but let's not go too much on that. We can't afford the court case.
No.
So. Comments. All Things Leeds is strongly against Ed. Top lad Ed, by the way. Make sure you check out All Things Leeds. Superb channel. Good friend of the channel. Hopefully we will be making an appearance at some point on the channel, and we'll be both swapping positions and that lot. But yeah, Ed says he's not a fan of playing foreshort and click together. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Really, I think you do look at it and think it's two similar players in the same position. But then you could also argue again, just if you're wondering what we're looking down at, it's just that little the tablet I was showing you before of how things would look. But if you're looking at it, you have Phillips at the base of the midfield, Click there, and just ahead of him, and Forshaw just ahead of him as well. You look at that and you think it could turn into a bit more of a 4-3-3. It's a little something. You can rotate the positions a little bit more.
One game I remember the two of them playing together, and I thought they played well. Was at Wigan. Away.
Yes, Wigan,
All together, but it depends maybe on the type of game. Like I think.
I think certain games you look at and you think it's probably more of a. I suppose in certain games you want maybe it's more of a creative Shackleton and Roberts in there, trying to draw people out of position.
Yeah, because I think that's what I think Saiz was badly missed around the time he left. He was so good at drawing maybe two players onto him, so freeing up space for Click. I think that's where a lot of his goals maybe came from.
Of course, Click could make that run. Straight into the box kind of thing, and it was great to see, wasn't it? It was superb to see, and that's what you hope to see now. But I do feel to an extent, if you do play Alan Forshaw there, it frees up Click a little bit more defensively. I think when Click plays alongside Roberts, I do think it's worked well at times. But sometimes you look at Click playing alongside Roberts, and he always naturally sort of drops a bit deeper because he feels that if Roberts loses the ball, which sort of the midfield opens up, if Phillips is kind of up against three people and that lot, you look at maybe Forshaw in that position, or with Shackleton, someone who's a bit more of an out-and-out centre mid who can defend as well as attack. I'm not saying Roberts is a slouch by any means. He will work, but I don't think maybe quite get the same defensive awareness as he would the Forshaw, for example. And another way of looking at it as well is Forshaw and Click don't necessarily have to stay in that same kind of position. No. You could do this as well. You could play Phillips and Forshaw as sort of like a midfield pivot, and have Click playing as more of a number 10. And having that license to just make those runs into the box. It just feels like something. I don't know about you, Steve, that we've not quite had. Click quite having that same freedom. I still think he's dominating a lot of games. Don't get me wrong, and we both love him and that lot. But
I think he's key actually as well. Often, like when he makes the rotations with the players, because often when you see the videos, say on Twitter, of the tactics that are I don't know the names of them, but they're basically the detailed video analysis of the tactics. You can often see like Click is making runs like off the ball. Something you may not necessarily see like during the match when you're watching it, but
it opens up the space. I think I can't remember the exact quote, and it would be doing it a disservice, but Marcelo Bielsa said Click is playing the hardest position in this team. He's playing a position where he needs to know how to defend and he needs to know how to attack. Sometimes he needs to get close to Phillips, sometimes he needs to get close to Bamford, Roberts.
He's often drifting around.
He has to drift around a lot, and it's that awareness, and I think that's where the intelligence of a Click comes in. We need that kind of intelligence there. I think I look at Click and Hernandez, and I feel they're very much the brains of this team. And if we are to go up, we need them on top form. And can we see that? Can we get them back to that levels at the start of the season? Not saying they've dropped off at all, but we need them at those levels. For me, that is something we have to say.
But with 8 games to go, are you confident it'll go up, or?
It's one of those. I'm always.
It's nice to be having this conversation.
I've said privately to you what the prediction was. I'm not going to disclose it. It's one of those. It's I don't know. I don't want to. What's the word for it? I'm thinking jinx it. All right, I think we'll do it. I do personally think we'll do it. You know, it's not certain at all. I think it's just good. But I think it's just going to be so tight. You know, I think a lot of it does come down to, as the title on this video says, the next 10 days. You know, for me, I think after 10 days, you look at it and you think there's a big indication what's going to happen. We've both got to go to Birmingham. We've both got to go to Preston. You think about that and you think there could be a big point swing there. You know, both teams could quite easily lose both games. You go, I think we mentioned it as well. You go back to the 16-17 month season, similar kind of period of the season. We went in. It was Reading away. It was Brentford away. 2 games where people saying, "Oh, we can win them. We can win them." It was 2 poor performances of the season, and then we lost at Burton as well. It could unravel, or it could really.
I think what gives me confidence though going in, I don't think there's been lots of games where we've played really poorly this season. I think generally performances have been spot on. Again, I think it's just obviously, I think Bielsa's alluded to it as well. It's just poor efficiency for converting chances. Yeah, I think that's obviously.
Which I'd say is different to a poor performance. You know, I think a poor performance for me, I don't
pass the ball.
Yeah, when nothing's happening, where it's just completely dull. You know, and off the top of my head, the only real games I can think of where it's been a real case of that for me, probably Blackburn away. We did sort of wake up last half an hour or so. We did score a lovely goal in that game as well.
Just had 2 set pieces.
And 2 set pieces, but in truth, Blackburn dominated that first 60 minutes. It was pretty poor to watch. And I was actually sat really close to Bielsa on that day, and he wasn't happy with that. You know, he was. You know, it's probably one of the most animated games I've sort of seen him on the touchline. You know, maybe that was because I was sat close to him. But yeah, I could see the frustration in. And I think that's what frustrates Bielsa when the team can't pass the ball or doesn't create or doesn't take the risks and that lot. But I think as well, Stoke away, obviously you'd have to throw in Norwich at home as well. The second half against Norwich, we did struggle.
I think I told you the reasons why I thought that was just bad sub with Bielsa.
Yeah, when obviously Barry Douglas came on, we've not actually discussed Barry Douglas too much. You know, it's a popular topic of conversation. Barry Douglas, you know, what is he getting so much criticism because of his form at Wolves? You know, is he to an extent? I say this in sort of the what's the word for it? The lightest way possible. Is he a victim of his own success to an extent? You know, at Wolves, that the expectation levels are there for him to do what he did at Wolves.
Well, I think generally, if you look at it, I don't think it's harsh to say that he was playing in a team of individually much superior quality. Like we didn't sign. Like we didn't sign a £15 million midfielder, and arguably I think he's worth a lot more. I think also the fact he was playing as a wing back. I think if you look, say, at Marcus Alonso at Chelsea, I think he's struggling playing in the 4-3-3 with Sarri. Whereas, when he played as a wing back under Conte, I think he had more license to go forward, which I think was more suited to his natural game. I think Douglas is the same. I think he's much better going forward than he is defensively. And Wolves, I think, got rid of him for that reason. They thought he'd struggle defensively.
I think, it's a good point. That's a really good point. You know, some defenders, you know, even centre backs as well, you could say, are better in the back 3 than they are in the back as a 2. You know, David Luiz is probably the perfect example. You know, when he played in that back 3 under Antonio Conte, that year, as you were alluding to, I think he was one of the defenders of the season, one of the best defenders in the world.
He had Kante and Matic.
Well, that that did help a bit, but let's not talk too much about Chelsea. I've been just thinking we're talking a lot about Chelsea now. We hate Chelsea. So, but anyway, you know, you look at left backs as well, full backs. Some are better at wing back, some are better at full back. You know, just playing in a back 4 in that one is a very good point. That all things Leeds. Oscar's a book reader in the West End. Pass it on. I can assure you, mate. I think I've done the West End once this season. It's not. I just can't. I probably think I'd rather watch it on TV than watch it in the West Stand. I think the only advantage you'd have in the West Stand, and if you go in the West Stand, absolutely fair play. But I don't know. I don't think you go in the West Stand.
No, I was.
It just doesn't feel the same in the West Stand to me. I don't know. It's but fair play. You know, it's probably in terms of view, it's probably the best seats in the house. Other than maybe the East Upper, which we are in tomorrow. But yeah, I think the only advantage you get there is probably you sit near Bielsa. That's probably the only thing to think of.
Well, I remember I was in the West Ham for the ill-fated playoff game with Millwall in 2009, and I remember you had to stand up and duck down to see
Yeah,
the other end
yeah,
of the pitch, so it was really awkward.
That's what I mean. The view's
Yeah.
good, but only if you have the right seat. If you have the wrong seat, a bit too high up, you've got to just duck and dive pretty much and try and see the game. So no, mate, I'm not a book reader in the West Stand. So I'll look at any other comments. So what else we've got? Roberts has got 3 assists from the number 10 role, which is a perfectly fair point as well. All things Leeds. Wouldn't want to imagine us playing Phillips, Forshaw and Click together. It's like the Spider-Man lead. That one. All the same. I disagree with that. I would say they are a bit similar, but I wouldn't say they're the exact same. Obviously Phillips, you have that little bit more defensive awareness. Click's a bit more of a goal machine. Foreshaw's a little bit more, in the tight space than that lot dribbling around.
Well, I know you already mentioned, but they did play in that game with Wigan.
It worked quite well, but certain games it suits, certain games it doesn't.
True.
I wouldn't have said tomorrow's a game where I would have tried it. Click and Forshaw together. I think you do want that little bit more, kind of an individual creative kind of.
Yeah, and I think
influence in the team.
I don't think any of them will run at players. Roberts will, as we've seen against West Brom, and the other side obviously that did as well when he was at the club.
Just as we said, someone to commit people, move people out of position.
That's why say like Clark starting as well. It wouldn't be against him starting. I think he's been better off the bench, but certainly someone to run the players,
So we're looking at it as well. Another quick comments off. In fact, ourselves. I'm not sure. I think it's Joe at the, or possibly Claudio at the managing the Leeds All Leeds TV admin on this. Does Roofe? Perfectly good question. Really good question to bring in. Does Roofe come straight back in against for Roberts at Brum? We're having All Things Leeds have said yes. Alfie Waitman said yes. Craig Stone yes. Michael S. All Leeds TV absolutely without question. Ed says yes as well. Michael S. Roberts has not seized his chance. Is it a fair point? I mean, would you be bringing in Roofe for Birmingham? Obviously, I know certain situations come into play, but if Bamford plays well, how would you change things around?
I don't think it's been mentioned much, but I think Roofe is actually better as a striker, and I'm pretty sure Bamford, when he was Player of the Year at Middlesbrough in 2015, he played as a 10. Could be wrong.
Yeah, he was playing in behind Kike, I think, at the time.
Yeah, so maybe there's scope for that. I think
Bamford in the 10.
Yeah, I think that would be better than say Roofe at 10 and Bamford at 9.
Yeah, I think
possibly anyway.
I look at them as being not similar, but similar kind of in terms of what they'll give you. Not in fact, that's probably the wrong word for it as well. Both similar level, I'd probably say. I think Bamford's that more technical, as you say, that more of a classic number 10. More of the sort of that Firmino kind of strikers, a bit more intelligent kind of link-up play. Not really someone you say is a goal scorer, but will bring other people into the game. I think Roofe is more sort of pass, run into the box, try and get the finish, try and get himself the goal. A little bit more, not greedy, just more goal focused. It's actually Joe on the All Leeds TV admin there. Make sure you check out Joe and Conor's previews if you haven't already. I'm sure you have already, but make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But I'd agree. I would definitely agree. I'd go Bamford in behind Roofe.
I think it's just the case again. Like when you're in this business end of the campaign, we're not used to promotion campaigns in recent years. But what's Roofe 14 goals? Bamford probably would have something like that if he'd been fit all season.
I think it's Roofe. I think in terms of goals a minute, actually Bamford is beating Roofe at the minute. But I think if you look at pure chances, I feel Roofe's a little bit more clinical this season. I feel he has been a little bit more. Hasn't needed tons of chances to score. I'm not saying Bamford's been poor finishing it by any stretch of the imagination, but we have had the odd game where you thought Bamford probably could have got more there.
And then I was in the away end of Reading. You could clearly see he was really annoyed at himself that he missed a couple of chances. wouldn't expect him to miss a chance to.
It was one of those. I think that first half against Reading. I mean, that was an incredible striker's performance for me. You know, he played a crucial part in pretty much every goal.
Got the assist, I remember, for Hernandez the second.
And he did that little step over for the click as well, which is. It
won't
go as a stat say. It won't go down as an assist, but that was a crucial, little intervention.
Don't always believe in the stats.
Yeah, that things like that. You know, we were saying about the stats. You know, shots on target. You know, a block on the line won't count as a shot on target. Was your main example.
Go back to last season. Well, didn't Felix Feedwell keep 6 clean sheets in a row?
Yeah. I mean,
fancy football dream, but
that's the thing. You know, if someone's good at fancy football, it doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to be good for the team. I'm going to have to ask, mate. This is for Ed, All Things Leeds. He's asked me a couple of times. Oscar, check Dono, please. I am lost there, mate. I'm not going to lie. So if you can let us know in the comments or on the live chat, that'll be much appreciated. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure we should know what that is.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But yeah, let us know, mate. I'll check that out for you, mate. So, and if anyone else does know, and I'm more than happy to check that out. Whatever that is, anyway. So Harry Burns, I agree. Sorry, we'll actually go to donation. Okay. I apologise straight away, you guys. I did not see any donations come through. In fact, I'll be honest, guys. I'll be totally honest with you. I've had no notification. Here, but 1 second, guys. I'm just going to check that as we speak. But Alfie Waitman has said he prefers Shackleton to Clark. He loves them both, but Shackleton is seriously exciting when he's on the ball. Great football brain on him. Would you? It's something we've discussed between ourselves, Joe, Conor, myself, and me and you have discussed a couple of times as well over WhatsApp, and we've phoned each other up and that lot. What do you? Who do you feel if you had to be pushed is the bigger sort of prospect? Between Shackleton and Clark. Who do you feel is going to go further in the game? From your personal kind of opinion.
I think that's a good question. Like you look, I know it's kind of slightly off topic, but if you look at Norwich, say Max Aarons, to me, he looks like a nailed on, like really good, like Premier League player and waiting, whether it's with Norwich or not, hopefully not. But so yeah, I think Shackleton and Clark, I think both of them just exude that kind of class. You can tell like whether they have it. Like say, I think it's safe to say like when Phillips broke through, I never really thought he'd get to this level, and even like the past few seasons, obviously Bielsa coming in has brought him on leaps and bounds. But yeah, I think Shackleton and Clark definitely look like they'll go to the very top. And I think Clark's already been courted by bigger,
that's the thing. Teams. I think Clark I think naturally Clark being an attacker gets some more of the praise. Whenever Clark has for you kind of your highlights scouting, if you like, in terms of your highlights reel, I think Clark has a lot more of that. I don't think it's controversial to say that as such. It doesn't necessarily mean he's the better player, but in terms of like scouting and that lot, Clark is probably catches the eye more. But obviously, certain things you don't see. James Shackleton's been playing right back, most of the season. I certainly look at James Shackleton and someone local to himself here near Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He started out as a centre mid and went to right back. Mate, I apologise, Ed. I still can't. There we go, mate. I can now see. Thanks very much, Ed. Donation from there. I apologise for that. Put this towards curtains for the conservatory. Thanks so much for that, mate. And make sure, if you haven't already, check out Ed's channel, All Things Leeds. Make sure you check it out. Had an interview, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, with Tony DeRigo. Superb interview. Make sure you check it out as well. We are all family here in terms of Leeds media and that lot. So, any other comments that we have that we can go to? Harry Burns, Bamford would be on 20 plus goals now if he'd been fit all year. It's an interesting point that. Because you look at certain games at the start of the season, Derby, Stoke, Norwich, absolutely dominant performances. Bamford might have got himself a couple of goals in that as well. It's
I think it's 2 goals against West Brom just kind of illustrated. He's just to me he's like a natural finisher. Like just
Yeah.
doesn't panic on like especially on the first goal. Could easily been tackled. No, knew what he was doing. Took the touches and scored. Whereas I don't know, say for example, say watching Ireland, like Shane Long as an example, just total opposite. Is nearly like Noel
just
Hunt.
Hit it as hard as you can, kind of thing. Just sort of panic with it.
Yeah, panic.
Thrash it, kind of thing.
Yeah, Bamford just knows what he's doing when he gets the chances. So yeah, I don't think that's unfair to say. So.
I think it's something we talk about a lot, isn't it? A natural goal scorer, and I do see Bamford as one. You know, I think the issue more with Bamford is getting into goal scoring positions. You know, I think sometimes when the ball goes into the box, he's sometimes still on the edge of it, trying to sort of link up play. You know, he's not really making those aggressive runs into the back post or front post. Not to say he hasn't scored any goals this season. He has got like one against Norwich.
Yeah, on a slightly similar point to that, it's like when Hernandez scored against West Brom. Sometimes I think, say, particularly with Spanish players, very, very technically adept. Sometimes they just don't want to put their foot through the ball. So that's why I was pleased, especially with the goal against West Brom, that Hernandez just shot from distance. So like,
it's a very sort of
just get in and finish it, not just make it look nice, you know.
It's a very kind of, as you say, it's very sort of like a characteristic of you know, of this Bielsa team or the Spanish team of shots from distance. It's more working the ball into the box, creating overloads.
And we have players that can like clicks. Sheffield Wednesday.
Of course. I mean, it's naturally, but I don't think it's been something we've seen loads of. You know, considering the quality we've got on that pitch, you can score from distance. Look, KP is someone we forget about it. You know, KP is someone who's got goals in him. As much as he got criticism last season, I'll still point to the fact he got 7 goals last season in midfield and
he had 5 by October, I think.
I mean the way he started the season, you know, it's he scored some good goals, but he's playing in a deeper role as well. Maybe now he's having to be a little bit more disciplined, but you know, you look at it and you think, you know, we've got people who can shoot from distance. Alioski can shoot from distance as well. Yeah. Could we possibly have more goals from those kind of sources? But it's all good things to be sort of discussing, isn't it? You know, it's positive things, you know, to make us even better as a team. But
I think just slightly off point again, but I think most of these fans wish that Berardi would score like a cracker from distance.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Either Ipswich away or Wembley. And Wembley way will be changed to Berardi way, and everyone will go home happily ever after as well. Another donation from Ed as well. All things Leeds, give this to Jonah. All good banter. I don't think Jonah Hill's got as good hair as Steve as well.
He's brilliant.
But he's not got an afro anywhere near as good as Steve's anyway. So what else can we discuss? What else can we discuss about? You've asked me my prediction for the rest of the season. I think we'll just about do it. How are you thinking things are going down? Do you think it's going down to the last day of the season? Do you think it's already over for us? Not already over, but do you think the big moment of the season has happened 2 weeks ago? Sheffield United overtaking us, or do you think it's still a long way to go here?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was just too much of an overreaction. I think if we had won that game, we would have been in a very, very strong position. If we had drawn, I would have taken a draw before the game because we would have kept the gap, but I don't think it would have been over. So different things happen. Like you know, Sheffield United now are the team to be the chase. We're the chaser.
Key point as well. You know, last time we swapped positions.
Yeah, I just think it was
straight
over
away.
It
changed, didn't it? Yeah,
I think it's going to be like that season when Middlesbrough went up in goal difference ahead of Brighton.
Yeah, that was
something like that.
I don't think the heart will with that. Ipswich. I just have that horrible feeling that Ipswich last day of the season that it's just going to go. We're going to get into a position where we just need to win at Ipswich.
Yeah.
I say just win. You know, Ipswich. They've actually gone with a decent little unbeaten run, Ipswich.
Yeah, they're not winning a lot, but they're drawing a lot.
Yeah, which is it takes points off you.
But they should be relegated, I think, by then.
Which is another point as well. You know, will the heads be in it? But it's one of those that could easily go the other way. Knowing Leeds United.
Because it's say in 2010, I wasn't alive obviously in 1990 for the other promotion from Division 2, but.
I don't think anyone will, even from them, will remember it. The piss up afterwards.
Yeah, the one in Bristol against Bristol Rovers. We were playing they were mid-table, I think, by the time.
Yeah, I think around that. Yeah,
they made it massively.
think they were mid-table anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I know Bournemouth.
I think they dropped off. Yeah, because I remember I was doing a table recently just to see how the top 3 changed hands, or like the top 6, sorry, in the League One season, and yeah, I think they were on the flirting with the playoffs maybe for a while too.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's going to be so interesting. And last thing we're going to discuss on, if any of you guys want to get some last minute comments in, Gary Keith has made a quick little prediction on points wise. I've got it down. I'm thinking about 91 points. You know, I think you'd be surprised if 3 teams this season, in any season, got more than 90 points. That would be a surprise.
I didn't think recently it would happen, but before, like the last couple of weeks, but I'm looking at it now and thinking everyone just seems to be beating out. Hopefully Norwich and Sheffield will drop points tomorrow, but
I just
expecting the win just the way the season's going.
I feel personally, it feels like that's just happening now. Everyone's winning, but I saw a really good comment on the forums the other day that Sheffield United, teams can't just keep winning. It's not.
Well, it's like
they can, but in the Championship, it's not really realistically going to happen that much.
And I said, like, when we won the 7 games in a row during the Christmas, or at the final end of the Christmas period, I thought we weren't going to win every game.
Yeah.
It was like, we're going to lose every game after Sheffield.
7 in a row and then lost 3 in a row, didn't we? Obviously,
they included the cup game.
Or 2. Even 2 in a row. We start to drop. But in fact, you could even go as far as going to the Stoke, the Norwich, etc. It's like 4 defeats at 6, 5 defeats at 7, and things can change quickly. Things can change quickly.
Yeah, like it's like I think Sheffield had 6 clean sheets in a row, maybe 7. So like,
how sustainable is that?
Statistically, it's not. And we saw like in the Gary Monk season when flying margins, we were often on the better of it. Just changed towards the end of the season. So,
and I feel, as much as I think Sheffield United, they are better than what we were in 16-17. I feel there's a similar kind of team. They've got Chris Wood. We had Chris Wood.
I wish we had Chris Wood.
I think we all wish we had Chris Wood. They had Billy Sharp, similar to Chris Wood, getting that sort of couple of chances of the game, taking them, and sort of seeing out the win. And that, obviously, there's more to them than that. They've scored more goals than us at the end of the day. But a lot of it's on the margins for Sheffield United, and I feel things could change. I feel things could.
I remember early in the season that I kept thinking that when Norwich were getting like late winners in 97 minutes against the likes of Bolt and Millwall, I was thinking that's not sustainable. But what do I know?
Well, I think obviously Norwich, it's they sort of defied logic, haven't they? Really, it's like since August, I think they've gone on some of the best form that we'll ever see in this league. Just winning, losing very, very rarely, and drawing your game as well. That's last thing I'm going to push you on prediction.
What's
that? Prediction.
Oh, I've already done it. I think we won 3-1.
Oh, we did do it, didn't we?
No, I liked my one.
I knew it was 3-1, but I was building up to it. I was thinking, if we go down, I would estimate that. And I was like,
What's yours?
You're going to push me to it. I'm going 2-1 or 3-1. If we get an early goal, 3-1. I feel we might concede.
You have to give a definitive yes.
3-1 then. 3-1. I'm going to go first goal scorer.
Yeah, I went with Bamford.
I'm going to go Bamford as well. I'll go Bamford to get a brace tomorrow. I feel a brace coming along. And who's going to get the other goal? Jack Harrison's going to get the other goal. I'm going to go for. I'm going to go something.
He's a scorer in unusual games. He wouldn't
sort of a little run to the back post. Let's wait and see anyway, guys. Thanks so much for watching anyway, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much to Steve as well. And he will be getting the after the Millwall game. We'll get another report.
That's something.
We'll get another good summary. Make sure you check that out as well. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more of Steve, let us know in the comments down below. See you later, guys. See you at the game tomorrow. Leeds TV. Thanks so much for watching. See you later, guys. And special thanks to Ed for the 2